Hey, what up? It's Brad with Home Love Construction, and in this video, we're gonna be going over how to sell effortlessly. In this video, we're gonna talk about the ultimate sales strategy that I've ever found for any business gurus. We'll talk about this for days, about how this is the best way to sell. We're gonna talk about how to increase your conversion rate from leads, which you're probably getting a ton of, to actual sales, that's dollars in your pocket. We're gonna talk about third, how to grow your sales force without actually having to hire salespeople. Cool little hack there. And then finally, as a bonus, be sure to watch to the end, because at the end we're gonna talk about 3 tricks on how you can sell while you sleep. You don't even have to do anything. So in this video, we're gonna be talking about how to sell. So who is this targeted towards? This is targeted towards small business owners, independent agents, people who are really elbows in the mud. They're running a small shop, probably a family-owned business. This is for you, okay? Now, before we jump into the video, I really encourage you to like our Facebook page. We're putting out a ton of content on this page, and by liking the page, you'll get notified when we put out a new video. And please drop a like on one of our videos. As our videos get seen by more people and get more exposure, it really helps us to grow our customer base, which then brings us in more leads and then more sales, which grows our wherewithal to put out more videos like this for you to help your business, okay? So by helping us, it really helps you. So without further ado, let's talk about the ultimate sales strategy. Your ultimate sales system is actually a bit of a misnomer. I love doing that. Your actual ultimate sales system is going to be to not sell. Completely throw the idea of selling, cold calling, beating the streets out the window. The reason why is in 2019, it's so exceedingly easy. We're so connected. It's so easy to get in front of people that there's no reason to dilute your brand by doing ridiculous things like calling people when they don't want to be called, or knocking on their door unsolicited. Like when window salesmen come to, we run our business out of a home office, when they interrupt our business hours by knocking on we're not cursing, I'm trying to keep these videos clean so I won't. When they knock on the mother effing door and they're trying to sell us windows, when we have signs on the trucks in front of we're a construction company, it says Impact Doors and Windows. Anyways, completely different brand. That's ridiculous. There's no reason for you to use cold calling, cold emailing, cold introductions as a sales strategy in 2019. It's ridiculous. Do not do that. If you're insistent on doing that, I can't help you, I'm sorry. So for those of you who are still watching, who are interested in not doing that, because that's uncomfortable anyways, I don't think anyone actually enjoys doing that unless they're like a sociopath. The way to do it in 2019 is to let the market come to you, okay? Now, I understand that that's much easier said than done. You see people like Gary Vaynerchuk or Tony Robbins who have these massive crowds and they're like, just let it come to you, give value. That is the correct strategy. Now, your expectations just need to be realistic, and they don't need to be on the Tony Robbins or Gary V level necessarily. So your level needs to be create a buzz in your local community about your product or service, assuming you're a local business. If not, it can be actually a little bit easier because you're not tied to a specific location. But we'll focus on the specific location one for now, because that tends to be our audience. That's more likely to be you watching. I wanted to read a quote here from Chase Jarvis, and it has to do with whether you should discount or not, because I think that this ties in really nicely to having the market come to you. When you have brand, part of your sales strategy of giving discounts or sales kind of goes out the window. And here's why. I think this Chase Jarvis quote is really good. What he says is, do something for full price or do it for free. Do not compromise the value of your service unless you are willing to do it for absolutely nothing. So that's really, really instructive as far as the mindset behind building a brand and letting the market come to you. It's so that you don't have to discount, because if you think about it, if your service is worth a certain amount, Of course, there are people who it's not going to make sense for them to pay that exact amount for your service, but those people don't have to be your customers, okay? If they don't have something to offer in terms of whether they're an influencer, or they could help you with exposure or help you in some way or barter with you, then you don't have to take their business, basically. And that's something that I've talked about in previous videos. I won't harp on that for too long. But the other thing that you really need to do in order to get this a buzz going about you and let the market come to you is let the law of reciprocity work in your favor, okay? So you need to basically do enough good for the people around you, the people in your community, the people you touch on a regular or even not a regular basis. Random acts are great as well. But you need to build basically a bank account in your community that you can you don't even have to withdraw from, that basically gives you dividends and payouts in the form of more business in the future, okay? So that's the law of reciprocity. That's when you do good acts for other people and they feel obligated to do something for you in return, right? That's a huge strategy for us at Home Love Construction. We do a lot for people and try to never ask for anything in return if we can help it. So really the last part that I would add to this is a relationship based strategy, okay? So when you're trying to build a really, really strong reputation for yourself, that's what a brand really is. A brand is a reputation. You know, a lot of people get caught up on that word, but reputation is something that people might be more familiar with, and it might make more sense to you if you think of it as far as, oh, I don't know how to build a brand, I'm not a branding person. If you think of building reputation, everybody has a reputation. You know how to build a reputation. You do the right thing. It's very simple. That's literally what building a brand is. It's about doing the right thing over and over and over again. And part of doing the right thing is, it's never the right thing to burn a bridge with someone. You don't necessarily have to have that person or that associate in your life or your business or that employer or whatever. You don't have to, what I call, burn the bridge with them. You don't have to completely negate any relationship you've ever had with them. You can end a relationship, you can do it clean, you can do it professionally, and you can let them know that you're not going to be associating with them anymore. That doesn't mean you need to insult them, call them a bad person, or basically go into stories and not facts. Whenever you're dealing with something negative, stick to facts. Really, even if you screw up, if you're the type of person who doesn't go into stories and doesn't let drama into your circle, and you stick to facts, people are really going to respect that about you over time, because they're always going to know what they're going to get. Even if you do drop the ball sometimes, because we all do, it happens, we drop the ball. If you stick to facts about it and you don't come up with necessarily like excuses and stories, that's going to serve you much better in the long run. And that's actually going to be your sales strategy, is your relationships, playing the long game, and ultimately letting the market come to you, okay? So the next point from that is, once you're doing that, you're going to start getting leads. And something that I see so many business owners struggle with is how to get those leads, how to actually convert them into sales. You know, it's like you're getting all these requests for estimates, and it happens to us sometimes. We're just flooded, our inbox is full of requests, and our Facebook Messenger is full of requests. And then we go out and do all of them, and we don't sell any jobs. It's because we don't stick to these fundamentals that I'm gonna actually talk to you about at ProSource, where we're about to head. Let's get over there. Yeah. Conversion rate. Conversion rate is the proportion of the number of leads you close divided by the number of leads you bring in. So if you have, say, a 25% conversion rate, that means that for every 4 leads you bring in, you're making 1 sale. So if you were to say, try to predict your next year's revenue for your business, or set a revenue goal, what you would do is you would take the revenue number that you wanted to achieve, say it's $1 million. You would then divide that by your average sale. Then you would get the number of sales you need to do, and then you would multiply it by your conversion rate. So say it's 1 to 4 or 4 to 1 conversion rate. You'd multiply that number by 4, and then you would come up with the number of leads that you need to acquire, your lead acquisition total for that year. So when it comes to actually converting those leads, either, you know, that's the back end way to actually up your sales without having to bring in more leads. Those are kind of the 2 ways you can go about it. You can increase the number of leads that you bring into your funnel, or you can increase the efficacy of your funnel and really bump that number up so that instead of 1 in every 4, you're closing maybe 1 in every 3, which is actually a massive jump. And that would be a huge improvement for any business, especially your business being a smaller, I mean, think of if for every bid you're running and putting out, you're getting 1 more for every 3, that's kind of crazy. But anyways, how do we actually go about doing that? How do we make it so that more of the people that we're talking to become our customers? We get to serve them and do what they want. And there's only one word that we need to focus on for this, and it is friction, okay? Friction is anything that prevents your customer from working with you. It's anything that makes it hard for your customer to just say yes to whatever it is you're offering them, okay? So when we're talking about friction, there are a couple really key points, and now since we're in a digital era, it's so easy to take these things out, and so we're gonna kind of go through them. One huge source of friction is over inundation with information. Many people who are new to business come in and try to give their customers all the information all at once. They try to just blast them. Now, to be frank, there's a reason why the customer is trying to hire you, a service professional. It's not because they need all the information. If they wanted all the information, they would research it themselves, they'd probably do the work themselves, okay? They don't need all the information. If they ask for it, provide it, absolutely. Be knowledgeable, be a subject matter expert. We at Home Love Construction, we are the experts in kitchen bath remodeling and home additions, okay? We do the best bathrooms in the Tampa Bay area, bar none, put money on it. We will beat anybody, okay? Now, that said, if you're giving the customer all this information and walking them through all the different choices that they're gonna have to make when it comes to, say, a bathroom, you could have 100 different decision points, A or B, in a bathroom, and then branch that out to even more. It can get crazy. Your customer is not going to appreciate that, okay? So what I recommend is that you give them a proposal based on your knowledgeable information of 2 to 3, write that down, 2 to 3 options that they can choose from. If you get into 4 or 5, it's gonna be too many. 2 of them aren't even gonna make sense to them anyways. So you need to give them 2 to 3 options that they can choose from. Ideally, you give them your highlighted recommendation, and then you give 2 or 3 other that will work and you will do them, but you don't necessarily recommend them, okay? 1 strong recommendation, 2 or 3 auxiliary ones in case you just missed the ball and you didn't hit exactly what they were looking for. So that's really how it needs to be handled in your bid process, okay? And then on the other hand, I'm gonna have to go back to my notes here, but it's okay. With 2 angles, we can cut it in super easily.
Say like on the other hand.
On the other hand?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. On the other hand, so that's what you can do to, on your end, make it easier for customers to say yes. The other thing you can do is to better screen your customers, okay? One thing that we've implemented in Home Love Construction is that in order to, you're gonna love this, in order to set an appointment with us, our customers have to fill out an information sheet about themselves, including a budget for their project, okay? Trust me, if you are a home remodeler, for example, you do not want to walk into a house where a customer just has a free whatever rain of ideas, just like stream of consciousness coming out of their head, and they don't have a budget. They don't know how much they can spend. They haven't had to have that tough conversation with themselves or with their spouse or with their banker or financial advisor or whoever about how much money they can spend, okay? That is almost always the limiting factor, so that needs to be taken into consideration always. In the rare situation that it's not, you lucked out, good job, don't worry about it. In 99% of the situations, your customer needs to have a budget in mind. Otherwise, you are likely, you're not necessarily wasting your time, but you're just going in blind. If you wanted to sail a boat across a lake and you put a blindfold on and you don't have a map of the lake and you just go out and you just start sailing, you just throw a sail up, what are the chances you're gonna get to the other end of the lake? not, or at least where you want to go. You'll get somewhere. It's not necessarily going to be where you want to go. Okay, so you need to have all the information so you can really figure out where exactly you want to go and where your customer is okay with you going. Okay, now when you're discussing with a customer what they specifically want, one tactic that I want to drop on you that has really worked for me specifically, this is a Brad Bashan special, put my name on it if you want. The thing that I found that I do exceptionally well is allow a customer to tell me what their biggest problems are. Okay, you do not need to tell your customer what their biggest problem is. They already know. You need to draw it out of them. Okay, you need to make them feel comfortable with you. You need to basically, honestly, the way I do it a lot of times is I'll just ask them straight up, what is your biggest problem? What is your biggest issue? What is your biggest desired end state? What do you want to get out of working with us? What do you want your bathroom to look like? In an ideal world, what would it look like? Then we figure out how we can make that happen, or how we can at least get to the core of what the real issue is. If it's that, they're getting water intrusion somewhere, how do we waterproof correctly? If it's just the aesthetics, how do we make it look the way they want it to look within their budget? You have to draw out that core, really what's at the heart of their problem about why they're willing to let you come into their home, break a ton of crap, and then put it all back together. Okay, it's kind of it's a big deal to remodel a room. It's a lot of demolition involved, right? So if you're going to be doing that, why, what's the driving force? Okay, that's really at the heart of determining what that lead really is to you. Okay, and then that will help you figure out what product to offer them. It'll bump up your conversion rate like crazy, because if you understand what their problem is and you know what their budget is, and you give them a proposal that is within their budget and that solves their problem, why would they say no? I mean, you're gonna have a 95% conversion rate. It's gonna be a no-brainer to work with you. Okay, that said, with your conversion rate being better, you're going to be able to work better on your business rather than in your business. And an additional way that you're going to be able to do that even further is by growing your sales force without actually adding more people. We're going to talk about that next, but let's jump over to the kitchen area and talk about that. How do you grow your sales force without actually adding people to your sales force? A lot of small business owners that I talk to do not want to bring on more people to handle their sales, but in reality, they know that they need more sales in order to grow their business, right? So how do you do it? How can you have the best of both worlds? You're probably expecting me to say you can't, but surprise, you actually can, okay? So the way you're gonna do this is you're going to harness the power of the internet. How are you watching me right now? How am I reaching you? I'm using the internet, okay? I'm using the bunch of connections up in the ether to get to you. It's amazing, right? The power of the internet it's only just been tapped into. We've just started seeing the internet deliver on what was initially promised it would do. Now we can start using it to grow our businesses. If you're not, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why you're watching here. So assuming that you are, you're going to use the internet to grow your business. Here's how you're going to do it. You're actually going to go back to old school networking principles. The cliche that I'm going to hit you with in this section is your network is your net worth. Okay? That is actually one of the truest statements I've ever heard. Now, your network is not anybody who has your business card. Okay? That is not a network. Your network is people who know you, who understand what you stand for, who understand what your goals are, and they understand in a very clear and concise manner how they could help you potentially, or how they could work with you in a win-win situation. So, how do you go about creating that network of people? Well, I'm actually doing it right now by speaking to you about what I believe in business. I'm letting you see into my world of how we run our business in Home Love Construction, because anything I talk about here, it's because I've tested it and we've seen it to work and I know that it's legit, okay? So that's how I do it. I do it through creating content for you that's supposed to help you. And it's a win-win. I get more people to understand me. I give and what you get out of it is knowledge, information, and the specific nitty-gritty how-to that we're trying to go through in these videos, okay? So you need to leverage the internet. Now, second, social media is actually, it's really a misnomer. It's more so the current state of the internet, okay? So what social media does is it allows typical word of mouth, which would be, you did a great job for your neighbor, and then they go and they tell their cousin who lives down the street, and then you wind up doing their cousin's job, and then so on and so forth. Social media has taken that, and it's hanging out with Barry Bonds, okay? It is on steroids. Word of mouth has never been stronger. If you are in an area that has local, basically word of mouth groups, local chats, for us, it's things like Trinity Chat, Newport Richie Chat, Palm Harbor Happenings. Those are the three huge ones in our area. These groups, if you are in a metropolitan area or a suburban area, even a rural area, these groups have thousands of members, and everyone's attention is on there looking for who the reputable person to refer business to is on that network, okay? They're looking. If you just make yourself seen there, that alone will change it. But you could turn the video off right now and just start posting on those groups and start responding to people who are looking for business on there. You could run your business entirely off of one of those chats. If you get going on 3 or 4 and actually build a presence there and bring value, it's going to be unbelievable. So what I choose to do, this is how we do it in Home Love Construction, and I would encourage you to do the same, is we put out content, and it doesn't ever ask for anything, okay? When I put out a video on one of those chats, it's purely to bring value. It's either to entertain, or it's to educate, or it's to actually help local homeowners. Sometimes I'll put out videos on how to do things, how to do specific tasks that we would typically be hired to do, but that I don't think a homeowner needs to hire us to do. I think they can do it themselves if they want to. But then what happens is people become, like I was saying earlier, the law of reciprocity. It kicks in over time, and you wind up getting people who are just so grateful to you for putting out good content and videos showing them how to do things, that they wind up using your product or service because they're just grateful. They just like you and they just want to work with you, okay? That, I can't harp on that enough. This is the way you increase your sales. This is how you grow your sales force. All of those people out there who then know you and know your work, and if they would give you positive word of mouth, encourage them to leave. This is huge. This should be its own hack. We're gonna have to clip this out for Instagram, but if you can get five, oh my God, 5 would be crazy. Even one of your customers to leave a review of your services in some detail on one of those local chats, their results are going to be game changing. You'll see comments for days under that post. People are going to say, oh my gosh, can't wait to get in touch with them. I've seen their company around. Now I've always thought about using them. Now I'm going to use them. It'll change your business. If you get 3 of your customers who love you, you knocked out the job, you did a great job, they're super happy, you still talk to them on a regular basis, 3 of them to leave a review like that, it's done. You then own that chat for the next 6 months, and that's it. You will get all the business from the people whose attention is there. By the way, it's everybody in that area. So that's huge. The amount of impact that it's gotten to the point for us to where from just one of those local chats, we're probably getting 1 lead every day, with our average lead size being, I haven't done the numbers on it recently, but I think our average lead size is somewhere around 10,000. That's typical for a kitchen or a bathroom. And there's some smaller jobs bring it down, some bigger jobs bring it up. 10K is probably that nice even line. We're probably getting 100 grand in leads a week off of these chats. It's crazy. And that's on top of any normal word of mouth we're doing or other marketing activities like Facebook ads, stuff like that, okay? Local chats are just insane. So network, what does it equal? Your net worth. Your network can basically become your sales force if you do a good enough job of letting them understand what you need. You'll be surprised when you let people know what you need, they'll just come out of the woodwork and give it to you, because so few people even understand how to help someone that they care about. If you make it understandable that, hey, you can help me by letting this person know that I do this, it would be great. Or just an introduction to that person. I'd love to know them. They seem like they're doing cool things, want to get introduced to them. That is huge. People generally want to help. people are generally good people and they generally want to help. So that being said, remember, I'm going to say it one more time, network equals net worth. Get to know people, form real connections. Don't be a politician glad hander, kind of like slimy fish hand guy. Don't do that. I really am not a fan of that. In case you can't tell, I try not to do that. I'm like the authenticity guy. That's what I really try to encourage my friends to do. I would encourage you to do the same. The last point that we're going to hit in this video is how we're going to hit on these 3 really critical strategies that are just kind of like little sales secrets, so to speak. I'm really excited about this. Let's jump into that vid outside. I really appreciate you watching this far into the video, so we're gonna do these 3 hacks super lightning style round. Some of them I've kind of alluded to throughout the video, but here I'm going to explicitly lay them out for you. The first thing you need to do is you need to build a form that all of your customers fill out with all of their information, including a budget that you have stored on your website that they have to go through in order to work with you. It has to be a layer. The second thing you need is you need an autoresponder on both your Facebook Messenger app and your email that redirects people to that the first time they message you. They're like something blah blah blah, hey, thanks for reaching out, yada yada yada, please fill out this form while you wait. The third thing, you need to set up a scheduler application or plugin into your website or whatever you run your business off of. Most likely a website. You can build in a scheduler app that allows people to schedule appointments with you without you even having to do anything. That is how you sell while you sleep. You automate it, you use the power, you leverage the power of this right here, the internet technology, and you're crushing it. So I want to thank you for watching this video and implore you to like this page. If you are getting any value at all, if I've brought you any value from these videos, even one little penny, please hit that like button on this page, drop a like on the video. We're doing so much to attempt to help you, but we need to get something back so we can keep the wheels turning, you know what I mean? Keep the ball rolling, keep that snowball effect, help our content get better and better, hire more videographers, shoot more videos, free me up to do more of it. I can't wait. The next 12 months at Home Love Construction are gonna be awesome. Our media production is just already skyrocketing. It's gonna keep going, and I really would love for you to be a part of it. Hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Peace.